This is the meeting. It's January 19th for the Westport Bike and Walking Committee. And we will start with the introductions. And I will start with myself. I'm Gail Rodricks, and I'm the bike chair. And then I'll go to my left, which is Bet.
My name is Bet Lowe. I'm the bike secretary.
And Steve?
Steve Willett, Westport Selectman, and I don't have a permission on this committee. Thanks.
No, but
we can give you one.
You might as well say I'm a member of 13 other or 14 other committees.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're going to start with the approval of minutes. But Bet, I didn't send that along because I'm not sure if I could find it. But
yeah, I can send them along again if we want to do that next month.
Yeah, let's do that next month.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah, so let's table that for next month.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure I read them. If you sent them in the loop, I was just going through all my emails and might have been deleting Happy there. So
yeah, right.
The end of the year kind of cleanup. All right. Steve, just bear with Bet. She's cooking something on the stove, so she'll be back in the screen.
Does she have enough for everybody?
Pardon?
Does she have enough for everybody?
She didn't tell me what she's making either. What
so it's old-fashioned baked beans a la my grandfather's recipe. So I'm doing it on the wood stove, so it's all accurate.
Now, do you put bacon in that?
You betcha.
Okay, I knew that. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, but it's just I don't want it to burn, so I'll just.
Yeah, oh no! So get up and do whatever you need to do.
So I'll send along those minutes when I send the minutes from this meeting.
Awesome. Okay, now the next item is standing items. And Bet, like I was saying, I was going through the old emails, and this popped up for me. I think in August you had sent the faculty advisor, Mike King.
Mm-hmm.
And not sure if he got back to you or was there a response. And my only reason of putting this in here is I'll loop back into it on the South Coast Bikeway idea of a summit.
Mm-hmm.
But right away it was met with some resistance. Oh, we're going to need more volunteers. So I was just thinking that could be a possibility, helping with the summit. But did they ever get back to you?
No, they never got back to me, but it was before school. So, you know, that craziness when school starts. So I could follow up with him again if you'd like.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a gentle reminder that we certainly have opportunities for the students to get that leadership experience that they're looking for to, elevate them on that process of applying to schools.
Right.
And, I was just talking to this with a coworker. Her daughter's 14.
Okay.
And it is so important. So it's not like we're really looking for free help. I think we can offer opportunity that may elevate some of the kids' chances to get in, and also financial.
If there's more than one volunteering, then they have each other to talk to. So
yes, yeah. So I think it would be a good for them and good for us opportunity. So that's great.
Okay.
Any other topics on that? And I'll go to the events and updates.
Well, I thought so. I mentioned to Gail a while back, Steve, that someone I met. Ann Young, who works at Brown. Yeah, her husband, I think, might be a candidate for our committee. And I was thinking it might be nice if we have a set job, like the liaison to the bike summit, a discrete job for a certain number of months, let him get his feet in the water and see what he thinks. So I would suggest that for him also.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And I agree, Bet, because when I was doing the Now project for the kids' backpack for the Y, That was something we did. It's always good to give, you know, it looks professional, and it also gives credibility in the position, and it's clearly defined. I mean, I think it's always good to just let people know what they're in for.
Right.
So I like that idea.
Okay, I'll follow up with them also.
Okay, and I'll see if I can find any of my old ones in my or either resources that I can send you links to on what if I still have it in my emails and things.
Okay.
All right. So now we can go on to the events and updates. And I put the bike recycling program report from the regional recycling meeting we had, and we can update Steve on that kind of. It's sort of an extension of the South Coast Bikeway group, but also incorporates our Westport bike recycling. So Beth, do you want to speak on that?
Yeah. So I was speaking, and this has been in conversation for over a year with Sarah Labassiere, who is Mass in Motion Fall River, and also part of the Fall River. I think it's the Friends of the Quequechan Trail. I don't know what their designation is, but anyway, she has a group of volunteers that takes bikes and fixes them up, and then they're distributed in the community. So she and I got to talking. She actually picked up some bikes from us, about 12, I think, or 13 this summer. So I said, you know, it'd be great if we could match places that have bikes with places that need bikes. And Sarah took the ball and she ran with it, and she organized this meeting. So it was our bike recycle committee, her Mass in Motion bicycle committee, and there was another man, John Neely, who was also works with her in Mass in Motion. Bill Trimble, who's with YOU and is on the Dartmouth Trails committee, and he does bike recycling with kids, a program with kids where he teaches kids how to repair bikes. And then two women from Mattapoisett, which have a Bikes for All committee. It's a quite, I think it's quite an accomplished group. So they are also collecting bikes and then distributing them to organizations and individuals that need them. So it was a great meeting. It was great to, you know, see everyone's faces and see what the different groups are doing. And I suggested at the end that we have that as a topic for one of the South Coast Bikeways meetings, and just, you know, talk about sharing resources and doing something regional. Do you have anything to add, Gail? You were there too.
Yeah, so it looks like it may be a couple of monthly meetings just to get things strategized, and then they're going to open it up to more people. Liz and I forgot the other lady's name from
Jane, Liz and Jane. Yeah.
Yeah. So she used to work at the Y, the other lady.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a Bike for All program, and then they are looking to incorporate the Y branches. But in a nutshell, they're looking for more storage once the bikes are refurbished. That there's usually a problem storing them until they get to the people that need them. So, right, I know, Steve, you're working in, that's outside the scope, I think. You're in Freetown. But they were looking for school and municipalities along the South Coast footprint there to maybe store a few bikes here and a few bikes there. And Ben, I talked to Bob Trahan, who they asked me to check, and he said, you know, storage is a problem through the branches. So, but we're also looking for other things that you know, that we can eventually you know, temporary storage, but somewhere where things are not used and we can just store a few things, a few bikes. I think that's it.
The other thing is that they have I believe it's the Mattapoisett group has a process by which social service agencies can apply to them for bikes for their clients. So I think it was a group home or another home they talked about that applied for them, and they provided bikes for them. Similar to what we did to the Immigrant Assistant Program in New Bedford.
And Steve, for the end goal, it's just pooling resources and getting things like liability issues collectively solved by the group, or what worked for Friends of Mattapoisett when they talk to their lawyer, having people sign a waiver. Those kinds of things are what the focus is as working together as a group. We won't ask you to join that, Steve, though.
Thank you. No, the problem being right now is storage. I mean, I've even got a problem in my work. I mentioned the garage when we talked about it a while back, and they said, well, we're going to see if we can find some room, but they, you know, evidently he's not moving too quick. I know he didn't feel good for a while, but I guess it's still tight in that garage. So I don't know of any of the spots. I'm still poking around. We don't know what's going to happen with the old high school, so it's tough to put stuff in there. Plus, there's not really staffed by people, so we don't want people going through them and doing stupid things.
Right.
So, yeah, it's tough to find storage right now, actually.
Yeah.
I did talk to Tanya of the Westport Board of Health, and they do have the grant money for the cover for our recycling, but they had other priorities right now, so they're not really going to start that project even until late spring, probably. So that's not happening anytime soon, but we will have a little bit of a cover at the dump somewhere.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, so just at this point, just keep your ears open, and maybe, you know, if somebody mentions something that could work for this problem to solve, we can help out.
Okay.
All right. Now, the other thing that we're talking about, I think, Bet, you were there. I posted the meeting, so we were talking about the SERPED meeting wrap-up, Route 6. The recommendations, and so essentially there's not much to talk about that, except it happened November 28th. And does anybody have any comments on that?
No, but just so you guys know, I'm trying to get Jackie to come and do a Route 6 corridor presentation to my infrastructure committee, the Route 6 infrastructure that's addressing the water and sewer coming up. And obviously we want to try to get all our ducks in a row while they're ripping Route 6 apart. So I'll give you a heads up. Murray's still looking for dates. Today he's trying to see if February 8th will work, but I got to see if Jackie Jones is available.
Okay, that's great to know, because yeah, that disconnect between the water and then MassDOT was, you know, pretty obvious when the engineer was trying to put the pipes in and didn't want to have it dug up again. So thank you for that. You'll just let us know, and we'll share that.
Yeah, once Jackie gives me a date, I'll circulate and see who can show up, especially, you know, bike. I want everything to try to jive and see if the designs will work.
Okay. And yeah, so they certainly gave us a lot of options, you know, the 2 lanes and the 1 lane. So I think it was well covered. It was comprehensive, let's just say that. Next, I'm going to talk about the South Coast Bikeway, the feasibility study, and with a few things with that. And one is the concept drawing, which is the Bay Coast Bank that we got for $10,000. And Jackie, speaking of Jackie from SERPED, she was thinking of having high quality concept drawings and schematics. And for us, it would be Sanford Road and Old Bedford Road was going to be what she thought would be a problem, more of a problem intersection, or problem having the common person have conceptualize it. And if you have a rendering there, then it kind of, you know, lays it all out. This is what it could be. So the bet on the last South Coast Bikeway meeting, Keith's organization PAR was going to be doing those drawings, but there's some communication breakdown at that point. I've sent him an email and I hadn't heard back, so I don't know what's going on with work or, you know, work, family, and his business with that. So we're kind of doing an outreach to see if there's other artists, architects that would be willing to do the renderings. And I'm having trouble because I have connections with Boston Society of Landscape Architects. I put an email out and I didn't receive it, thinking somebody would like to take on this job and we have money to pay, but I hadn't heard back. So I'm going to still do some outreach, but I don't know if you guys have connections on doing the renderings. Now, Sarah and Sandy, as the Dartmouth bike group, was reaching out to UMass Dartmouth through the civil engineering department, which is fine, but I let them know how I saw how it should go, and it's okay to have, as we've seen on Sandy on the Serped, you know, when they put, this is where the bike lane is, this is where the lanes go, and you can see it, it's a horizontal. But I'm all about having that one visual, that, you know, you can really, really see it. So I'm pushing those other drawings. Technical drawings are okay. I'm not sure if the civil engineers can handle the rendering. And it lends itself more to architectural design artists. So that is something we're working on as a South Coast bike group, but specifically pertains to us at that Westport rendering at that intersection.
Do you have a succinct description of what is needed? Because I could pass it along. I think the closest college that has architecture students is Roger Williams.
Yes. Yes.
I used to know someone that worked there. So
okay, so that's great because I don't have connections there. So I will get the from, actually I'll have to go to Jackie to get what their recommendations are.
Yeah.
And then I'll pass it on to you. So
okay.
So I did say I did respond to South Coast Bikeway Group saying that, you know, this civil UMass Dartmouth is okay, but there's Roger Williams. There's also URI has a landscape design class they can take on as a class project. So yeah, so that sounds good. So that's the plan that we should do, is do some outreach on that.
Okay.
And use our networks to try to help that along, because some of the people at South Coast Bikeway is chomping at the bit to get this moved along. So I don't want to rush through it. I don't want to, my idea is not to do it sloppy. So if we can help, that'll be great.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. And then we have a range of public engagement with, this is through the feasibility study again. And Steve, I don't know if that coincides with your Route 6 specific, but they want to do a public engagement in Westport, Dartmouth, and New Bedford to share the feasibility results that Serped has done. So that's something I think they're going to plan to do regionally and through the South Coast Bikeway, and UMass Dartmouth, Jamie Jackhart offered to offer the venue. So that's to be coming up.
Sounds good. Just make sure they have water, not like last night's meeting where they ran out of water in the first 10 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
I have to laugh, Steve, because I was leaving and I was heading over to the water there, and it was all empty. I went, okay. I don't think they expected to have so many people, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's a good point. So, all right. And the last thing I have is the Cushnet crash with the young man who was 29 that passed away and hit a truck. And are you guys familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
So, yeah, it happened, I would say, about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate. Of course, I was thinking of our chair at the South Coast Bikeway, Bob Espendola, does a lot of bike riding. But it was a young man. He worked at here in New Bedford at this place called Dream Out Loud. He teach kids how to play music.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an unfortunate thing. So they want to do, I think Mass Bike is going to get into this, and they're going to have a tribute, and something will be happening in April.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, they said things like 20, that age group is more susceptible for the deaths.
Mm-hmm.
There was some statistic they were talking about. And so, yeah, we're just gonna try to raise awareness on that, and we'll share that through our bike group.
Well, are there other cyclist deaths in our area?
I think there had been,
Mm-hmm.
but this one seems to be the most traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the details, but he got hit by a truck.
I put the link in the chat section.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah. Well, it does seem like the concept of the ghost bike, the bike that's just along the side of the road painted white, it gets people thinking about bicycle safety. And if we're having an event, it might be good to post, ghost bikes around the area where the other people have died. And, we have tons of bikes at the bike recycling, and I could paint them white, and they could be a temporary installation to raise awareness of bike safety.
Okay. And that's perfect. So something like that. And then they're also kind of enfolding that tagline, Dream Out Loud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's going to be Ride Out Loud. Somehow they were going to make that a theme.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good to know.
Okay. By the way, if you look at that story down the bottom's the worst intersections, and now Westport's back on it, but 88 in Old County.
Oh boy, yep.
And of course, Florence Corner Road and Route 6 in Dartmouth is on the top 12 too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and 88 in County Road in Westport.
Old County Road.
Old County, okay.
Yeah, right. The intersection, where the schools are. That's Old County Road.
Oh, yes, yeah. Okay, so that would be a good location.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right. It is now 5:51. And is there any more new business?
No.
Okay. And so with that said, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
That was Steve Betlow, second. And
before you vote, just let me know if there's a pile of bikes. My trailer should be ready to rock and roll again soon if you need me to scoop any up. I do not have a garage at my house, so it's tough to store. I might have to put tarp over it if we got to wait for it to go to New Bedford.
There is I was there at the dump today. There are a pile of bikes, but I'm just not sorting them out just right now because they're just in a heap.
Yeah, so just give me a heads up. Even if we got to get rid of them, let me know.
Okay, I will.
And that's good. And Bet, my bike rack broke, so I got my car back. My car broke too, so I'll be able to put a bike rack in, and I'll be able to help as well.
We'll deal with it in the spring. How about that?
Okay, sounds good. All right. All right, so we had Steve made a motion and Bet second. All in favor?
Aye.
Or do a vote?
Yep, that's it. We said aye.
We said
Aye.
Yep.
And I say aye too.